one of the stories I wanted to share is just a fantastic experience I had with Governor Romney. I was in the cabinet and I didn't know him all that well, but I sent over a note saying one of the guys that works for me just developed ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and asked if there was any way Mitt could make it to his fundraiser, because they'd gotten things going and George knew that the disease moves very fast. And so I was amazed. So not only did Mitt come, Ann came with him as well, and you should have seen the room light up when they knew that Governor Romney was there and that Ann was there. And some of the most touching moments that I will never forget. The governor went over and Mitt talked with George. He talked with Cynthia, George's wife, and asked, how are they? What can be done? And Ann bent down and was holding George's hands, and she explained that when she was first diagnosed, they found later she had MS, but they first thought she might have ALS. So she had a lot of experience as well, and really just to see them sitting there talking with these folks, and they spent about 45 minutes to an hour, and I think that whole time I just was there like going, wow, I work for an amazing guy, because if he's willing to come out with really insanely short notice and spend 45 minutes just to make sure that this family, who he didn't know George and he didn't know probably anybody else in the room except for me, but to make sure this family really, whatever he could do to help them feel good. And later they called me and they said, Mitt left a really nice sized check, and they said, did you know that, Renee? And I said, no, and I kind of blushed because I was like, oh my goodness. And then later I said, you didn't have to do that. And Mitt said, yeah, I wanted to, Renee. He said, we need to find a cure for these things, and I wanted to make sure that I could be there. And I will always remember that story because it meant a lot to me. And George and I still talk today. I wrote a blog about it, and George and I still email back and forth. And George has a hard time; he can't talk much anymore. And but he remembers that as well. And each year he does a fantastic fundraising event, and a lot of our team still goes there to support him because we developed really great long-term relationships. And when he heard that I wanted to tell the story about Mitt coming, he got really excited too and wanted me to share that with everybody. So hopefully people understand that that's the type of guy Mitt is.